Here we go, kids. Up and running, so we're going to get started. Again, please control your background noise because what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of drill for skill, but then we're going to get into the really good drill for skill this coming Saturday because it is an RMB event day, and we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's just go ahead and kick this off. I want to thank you for being here. What we're going to talk about today is going to be the RMB power phrases. And power phrases, as you'll see here in just 1 second, I'll tell you what that's all about. Now, before we get into that part, I do want to just start by talking about this. We have a date. We don't have the date, I should say. We're going to have them, but we don't have your background noise, guys. Please. All right, I'm hearing myself now. All right, so like I said, just watch your back. Mute your phone, please. And so, anyways, we don't have the exact date. We're trying to see if we're going to mix it with the FFS group, or we're going to do one for them and one for Radiant Mortgage Bank. I'm leaning more towards just doing one for for everybody and just getting it out of the way and getting it done. And if you haven't done so, I would highly recommend that you go out there and get your hands on this program that you see here before you, which is called Mastering Influence by Anthony Robbins. It's an older program, but it's one of those universal truths that I would really encourage, again, everybody here to do what you got to get your hands on it. We're probably going to open up 15 spots to Radiant and 15 to FFS. That'll make it 30. And if possible, we might even go 20 and 20. But the point that I'm making is that we're going to go ahead and hold this event in July. And when we hold the event, it's going to teach you how to, well, master influence. And until you master influence, you're really not going to be good at anything in life, just because of the fact that so much of what we do revolves around influencing people. Now, the first person we need to influence, of course, is ourselves. And once we do that, it makes it easier to influence other people. And when we say influence people, we're talking about, your ability to influence somebody to go ahead and do anything and everything from give you a full 1003 to give you their social security numbers to meet them on a spot. One of the things that we kicked off today was our Baker to Vegas kickoff with the police, and we did very well. I wanted to thank publicly Griselda. We held it at the Marina Del Rey Sheriff Station, and we ended up with, not a lot, but we ended up with, there was only 6 deputies present. It's a very small shift in a very small substation, but yet we ended up with 7 appointments. Everybody that saw the presentation, plus one more that got there late, that gave us their business card to contact them to, again, be able to meet with them. And so that's, 7 people Griselda has to see this week that she didn't have earlier in the week. And a lot of this stuff really does revolve around you being able to influence people in 30 seconds, in 1 minute max, to be able to give you their information, for them to book an appointment. And that's what ultimately the success that most people seek revolves around, and they fail to see that. And that's what we're going to talk about at this workshop. Like I said, it won't be, no way, no more than 20 seats, because we've got, again, to combine it with FFS, and we're not just going to, the room does not fit that many people, let's put it that way. And we're going to, again, let you know. So here's my recommendation to you. As always, check your emails, because when we release the email next week inviting people, once those 15 spots are gone, they're gone. You can't RSVP for you plus 1 or you plus 10, or you're not going to RSVP for your trainer, or your trainer's not going to RSVP for you. Just when you go and register, if it says it's sold out, just go buy the workbook, go buy everything. I think right now they reduced it to $239, and that's because they're clearing it out. The new one's coming out. But we're going to give a copy of this in digital format to everybody that attends. Every time we do this, I get people to say, hey, I couldn't register, but can you send me the link for the stuff? And the answer is absolutely not. It's not for that. Go take your butt down to the Tony Robbins store and buy it. It's just that simple. The whole reason us giving this in digital format are the people that are on the ball that registered. The second thing I wanted to talk to everybody about is the update that I've been getting a lot of emails and text messages from people asking me about the call center. And we are, as we speak, I'm actually meeting them tomorrow morning, and we're going to go over the first round of training. We are training the call center. We're going to start with the local one here in Southern California, and then we're going to roll out more people. We're only starting with 2 people. They're doing 300 to 600 dial-outs a day each, so that gives us 600 to 1,200 calls a day. And we're going to be adding more people as soon as we start to see the results. We're looking at about a 2-week time frame to refine the script. There's 2 dial-outs that are taking place, and these are all live people. One of them is for current homeowners. letting them know, or asking them, I should say, if they're interested in selling their home in the city of blank, because it fills out the city that they live in, and at top dollar during this very hot real estate market. If they say no, then the next question is, are you interested in lowering your mortgage payment? If I may ask, what is your current interest rate? If they say 3%, well, thank you, have a good day, and it's over. If they say, well, 5.5 or whatever, then it turns into a refi lead. And that's what one person is going to be dialing out. The second person is going to be doing dial outs strictly for homeowners, which we're going to talk about some of the power phrases right now. And I'm sorry, for people that want to become homeowners, so renters. One is for homeowners, the other person is dialing out to renters. And the question for them is even simpler. Are you interested in learning how you can become a homeowner, and let us help you with some of the closing costs associated with it? Yes or no? Yes, boom, it goes out, and it turns into a lead for that, and not just on the real estate side, but also on the mortgage side as well. So these are going to be corporate leads, and I'm going to talk about this with our trainers next Monday, but I'll mention it to you guys just for the sake of avoiding any kind of conflict. Anytime you generate it, you are with Radiant Mortgage Bank as an MLO and MLO only. We don't care that you're a salesperson on the real estate side or a broker. It just doesn't matter to us. Anything we generate in-house is a referral. If an agent here tells you about a deal or a buyer that they're working with and it turns into a referral, they don't refer real estate out without it going through us. So I say that because we've had a few incidents go down where they went down the wrong way. And you don't want to burn your word, and you don't want to get caught doing something like that, because that is a responsibility that every one of us has, including everyone on this call, that if you stumble across a real estate transaction, understand that if it was born here, it's called and referred to as a corporate lead, period. If you let us know, then we'll arrange to split and arrange whatever we have to do. If we don't find out, which we usually find out indirectly anyways, then if that happens once or twice, we just simply let the person go on all ends. We don't need that. We work on the honor system, and some people have honor and some people don't. And so there was a time in our country where you could buy a house with nothing more than a handshake. I like to operate under those terms. I'm not babysitting people. I'm not running stuff. I'm not trying to find who's doing what, where. I don't have time for that. So I just want to emphasize to everybody that because we work on the honor system, if you stumble across a lead here, it's like a kid finding a $20 bill on the coffee table at home. Well, that's not where you find money, honey. You go find that on the street if you stumble across it, but you don't stumble across stuff in-house. And that's one of the things I'm going to emphasize to everybody, especially our trainers, because that's just simply wrong. And we want to make sure that there's no misunderstanding, because again, we don't like to deal with people like that. So anyways, enough of that. In regards to this, people have been asking me about the leads, and it's very simple. We want to work with people. I mean, right now we generated 6 while I was gone during a test run, and we want to work with people that we know how to close the business. It's zip code specific, but due to the fact that we have to separate homeowners from renters, we're going to bundle up like 3-4 zip codes at a time. That way it just goes down. I mean, these guys are dialing thousands of calls a week. They're not going to do it for just a couple hundred, so we're going to do that. So I'll keep you posted. I'll talk about it on Saturday as well. So let's go ahead and get going with the power phrases. Now, a power phrase increases your sales. I mean, it's simple. Simple power phrases stimulate your customers' feelings and trigger an emotional decision to buy from you. You can increase your sales by using power phrases on your web pages, sales letters, postcards, and other marketing messages. Now, why power phrases trigger the buying action? A power phrase helps your customer visualize how they will feel when they own your product or use your service. It generates an imagined feeling and motivates your customer to convert that feeling into reality, which is a sale. Most of your customers make an emotional decision to buy from you. They may use logical reasons to justify it, but their decision to buy is usually an emotional decision instead of a logical one. Power phrases increase a customer's desire for your product or service and trigger an emotional decision to buy. Now, I love the real estate side. I've got some killer power phrases for real estate agents that we're not going to get into because this is not a real estate training course, but we've got some pretty sweet ones for the mortgage side as well. So I'm going to start by asking you that's on the call right now, if I was to ask you something as simple, as what is it that you do with Radiant Mortgage Bank? You're standing maybe at a police barbecue and you have a banner that says Radiant Mortgage Bank behind you, or you're handing out a flyer that says Radiant Mortgage Bank. The question I have for you, it's quite simple. What is it that you do with Radiant Mortgage Bank? Who wants to answer that question? We're going to go through a couple of you. If not, we're going to just end the damn call and hang up. So, what do you do? Okay, perfect. Who wants to go next, please? Anybody? Come on, guys. I mean, don't get on these calls and just listen, because I could have just recorded it and emailed to you. Speak up. What do you do? Not that hard. Come on. All right, come on. And this is okay. Somebody else. Somebody else. Thank you, though. Come on. I mean, part of the problem that. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Anybody else? Guys, we're not going to continue until more people do this. Part of the problem is that people are not opening up their mouths out there. This is a sterile environment. Please go ahead and try it now. My good God. Hold on, guys. Go ahead. I'm listening. Come on, guys. Not everybody at one time. Come on, man. What do you guys do? And this is exactly what I'm talking about. If you can't do this, you're useless to us when people want to come out and do various things and events. I mean, come on. You got to say something. All right, let's just start picking people. Hold on. We've got some people on the line from LA, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, Hamburg, all over the place. Come on. All right, well, we'll make the class very quick, guys. I really will. So in that case, we'll need to do that. Let me just mute everybody while we're at it. And this webinar is going to be a waste of time. I'll tell you that right now. For most of you, cannot answer a simple question like that. And that's part of the reason that production for most people is not where they need it to be. And so, anyways, my recommendation to you, you better learn how to get out of your comfort zone, or you just simply are going to be wasting your time. And so, even if you answer something wrong, at least it shows you that you have the will to at least try. And most people just cannot even try anymore, which is very sad. So, we're going to go over this as it relates to that. What I'm going to do is also just emphasize why this is so important. Power phrases also give you control when speaking to a potential client. It allows you to transition to a position of advantage. Most of you right now are at a position of disadvantage. And the reason you're at a position of disadvantage is because I'm asking the questions and you cannot even answer the question. So if I'm keeping it very simple. When we go to the schools, I wanted to congratulate Gil Martinez, OGQ. He went to a school this past week and got 12, I believe he generated 12 appointments with teachers in one fell swoop, I think on Tuesday or Monday or something like that. So congratulations to him for that. So it allows you to transition to a position of advantage very quickly. You guys are all in the position of disadvantage with the exceptions of the one that spoke up. It also allows you to maximize your level of influence and persuasion. I mean, you got to learn how to persuade people. And the only way you're going to do that is by, again, learning some power phrases in anything that you do. The people that answered right now, I commend them and I definitely salute them. The only one thing that they could have done better to elevate the chance of them persuading somebody to know more is to always try to end your answer with a question, because that's what allows you to transition to that position of advantage. Whoever asks questions is always in control. So somebody asks me a question, I'll answer it, but I'll always end it with another question. It works like a charm. I'll give you an example. What do you do with RMB? Well, this gives you the question and the answer in one. RMB is a bank that specializes in helping families achieve the American dream of home ownership. Let me give you an example. And at that point, you're in control. What I'm going to do at that point, I'm just going to simply turn around and say, let me give you an example. I mean, would you agree that being a homeowner allows you to build wealth a lot faster than being a renter? Because obviously you're capturing some of the equity, correct? Yes, I mean, look at just some of the people that have owned homes. And then you're off to the races because you got to know who you're talking to, or you have to learn to make some fair assumptions immediately. The first question that I would ask somebody, and I do ask them in this position, is always, well, let me ask you a question. Do you currently own a home? No. They're bought and paid for because they're mine at that point, unless I screw it up. Okay, well, I mean, let me ask you a question. Do you own a home? No. Well, as you know, home ownership is the key to wealth because of the fact that when we're renting, we're basically paying somebody else's mortgage off, where in reality it makes a lot more sense for us to pay off our own. And at that point, I'm going to start painting the picture to the person as to why it would be double dumb to continue to rent once they met me when they could simply become homeowners and start the process on the spot. Now, it's also important that I'm talking to them that while homeownership does make sense, it's not for everybody. I mean, you have to qualify, obviously, and afford the home and make sure, blah, blah, blah. And so let me ask you a question. When's the last time you got fully pre-qualified or pre-approved for a home loan? Have you ever? Well, no, never. Well, the good news is that we can do that for you with no cost to you whatsoever. We will pay every expense as it relates to finding out where you stand and blah, 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 blah. Another thing you can answer is, well, as a bank, we help homeowners pay the lowest possible mortgage payment on their home. Let me give you an example. Do you have a home right now? Yes. What interest rate do you have on it? About 6.25. Well, I mean, I'm sure you got the memo, man. The rates are way below that. I mean, I just refied somebody that was at a 5.875. And they're out there. They're everywhere. And so one of the things that I would show at that point is that by simply reducing, and that's where I would break out my phone and open up my Qualifier Plus calculator app and say, let me see if I can figure this out. So what was the loan amount when you first got the home? $300,000. What was the interest rate? 5.875. Great. And it's 30-year? Yes. Okay, so your principal and interest payment should be around $1,300? Yeah, that's what it is. Perfect. Let me show you this. If we just reduce the interest rate to 4.5%, 4.5%, and here I'm hitting payment again, you would literally save almost $300 every single month. Now, when does it make sense to give away $300 a month to a bank where you could literally turn around and give it to your loved ones? Never. Now, I don't know if you qualify or not, but the good news is I can help you find out for free and with no obligation. And they're yours and paid for at that point. We help people consolidate high interest rate debt. Let me give you an example. Do you own a home right now? Yes. Okay, so let's just say, I mean, do you have any kind of credit cards? Yes. Give me your average interest rate on your credit cards. 18%. Okay, 18%. Today I got an offer in the mail, that junk mail we get from Capital One, with a 0% for 6 months and then 21 or 26% after. I mean, just ridiculous. So 18%. Okay, do you own a home? Yes. And the interest rate on your home, I'm assuming, is going to be a lot less than that, right? Well, yeah. I mean, I got it at 4. Okay, well, if you got it at 4, you have an idea of what I'm talking about. One is tax deductible, the other one is not. One is high, one is low. And so there are times that even though that you do have a low rate, I don't know if you're carrying any kind of credit card debt or any other kind of debt, but if you were to consolidate and take all that 18, 21, 26% interest rate and roll it and pay it off with let's just say a cash out, where you could literally just, your monthly mortgage payment would go up around $4, $10, but yet you're getting rid of $300 a month of bad debt and replacing with a better type of debt. Again, ask a question because if they won't answer your question, it's time for you to leave. Kind of like I left you guys behind, just because if they're not answering questions, they are wasting your time. It would be a waste of my time to sit here and beg somebody to try to answer a question to help them make more money. They're in a coma or something. Just run away from them, and you'll be surprised by how many people will actually go ahead and answer the question. And so again, it's very important to do that. I love when I speak with realtors because I'm not competing, even though I'm a real estate. I don't compete with them. And the reason that I say that is because if I'm talking to a realtor, or I know that they are realtors because I'm at a realtors mixer, or I'm at an open house, or a caravan, I mean, 1,000,001 ways to stay busy. Then what I would tell them is, well, what we do is we help realtors close more deals and make more money. Let me give you an example. I mean, I'm sure you've come across or you've heard of somebody who did not know that they needed 3 things to get into a home. I'm sure you know all 3 things, right? Down payment, yeah. And then they got closing costs, yeah. And then prepaids, yeah. I mean, a lot of the times people save up just for the down payment part, but nobody ever told them the rest of the story. They need closing costs, and of course they need to pay for the prepaids because you cannot finance that on a purchase. We can do it on a refi. Well, what makes us unique is we have a unique program, proprietary program, that allows people to come into a home with either a little to no closing costs, and in some cases we'll even pay all of their prepaids as well, making it that much easier for them to get into it. Now, let me ask you a question. You as a realtor, I don't know how many deals you close right now every month, but if you could close an additional one every month or two, just by us paying your buyer's closing costs, I mean, would that be a good thing or a bad thing? Well, of course, a good thing. Well, that's in a nutshell what we do. That's why realtors love us. So something as simple as that. Like another thing that you can say is we provide the missing link for home buyers, which is closing cost assistance. Again, let me give you an example. I mean, what would you say the average closing costs are right now for a buyer in your particular area as a realtor? Well, probably around 1 point. Okay, perfect. Because one of the things that we do is we do have a proprietary program that will come in and pay that 1 point on their behalf at the closing of escrow, allowing them to keep that money in their pocket and use that money to customize their home, furnish their home, a million other things for them to do with that money rather than giving it to a bank. I mean, wouldn't you agree? Well, yes. Well, that's what we do. And in the process, we create that relationship that keeps them coming back to you as the real estate agent for all of their future needs when they want to upgrade, sell their home, and so on. And so, as you can see, you can look that much better on our dollar. Very simple. Again, what do you do? Well, we help, and this is more when you are in a community environment, especially churches. I mean, it's amazing how well this works when you're at a church, when you're at a church event, or just a community event. And they ask, what do you guys do? What's RMD all about? Well, what we do is we help build stronger communities by increasing the rate of homeowners in this area. Let me give you an example. I'm sure you've heard that a neighborhood with homeowners, more homeowners than renters, is better for the economy and, of course, for the community. Why? Because they lay down some deeper roots. They belong to churches longer. Their kids tend to go to college more than when they rent. And so when we help more people get into homes with our proprietary program, it makes the community that much stronger as well. What do you do with RMD? Well, we help good people get a second shot at the American dream. And I'm talking about home ownership. You know how many people lost homes, walked away from homes, thinking that they will never own again? I just saw a report. I don't know if you saw it, but I just saw a report that says that people's FICO scores are the highest that they've been since the Great Recession. Why do you think that's so? Well, because the foreclosures are falling off. Exactly. The bankruptcies are coming off their credit reports, the foreclosures, the lates, all that good stuff. And so where we come in is we come in and give people a boost to get them into these homes. And especially, like I said, with our proprietary CCAP program, and then you just go and explain it to their particular person. Another one is we help people. We help homeowners with our exclusive CCAP program. Let me give you an example. Typically, again, how much do you think a family spends on closing costs when they try to get into a home? About $4,000. Now, what if there was a program that would come in and say, "Hey, don't worry about that $4,000. We'll take care of it." Would it make it easier for a lot more people to get into homes than without it? Well, of course. Well, that's exactly what we do. And you as a real estate agent, if I told you to go out there and look for people looking to buy homes, but not to worry about closing costs, that we will take care of that, do you think you could sell a few more homes a month, a year? I mean, what do you think? Well, of course. Well, that's exactly what we do. Let me give you this flyer. It's got my contact information. And here's the best part. Anytime you have a potential buyer, I give you my word that within 24 hours, they will have a copy of the credit report, the credit score, and you will know whether or not these are viable buyers within 24 hours. And if I don't, just kick me to the curb. But if I do, get ready to make more money. And that's it. That's really all there is to it. Now, sometimes you'll have people with objections and questions and so on. And by the way, instead of focusing on the previous two slides, most people focus on this and they let fear get the best of them and they never do a thing. Somebody asked me, well, how come I've never heard of your bank? I mean, I never heard of, HMAC or I never heard of Radiant. Well, the reason you've never heard of it is quite simple. We've decided it makes more sense to give money directly to clients through our closing cost assistance program and rely more on referrals than spending our money on expensive advertisements that usually don't even work. Let me give you an example. You know what an ad, even in the old-fashioned newspaper, goes for? I mean, it's ridiculous. Or TVs or whatever, a billboard, $13,000 a month. We'd rather give you $4,000 at closing costs and just over-deliver and then have you just refer people to us. We don't advertise, so something's got to be good. We're Most of our business comes from word of mouth and referrals. Now, another question you might have is, how can you afford to give money away? I mean, closing, how can you do that? Well, first of all, we don't consider the money we pay out through the CCAP program as an expense, but rather an investment. Let me give you an example. The example I'm going to give you is that every bank, including us, everybody gets their money when it comes to a mortgage from the same place. It's just how much they're going to mark up the interest rate and how much more money they're going to make off you with fees and junk fees and many other things. We just don't do that. And so we don't have the typical expenses that come with having a branch at every corner. We're not a charter bank, we're a mortgage bank. And so we keep the main thing, which is to help people get into homes, keeping expenses down, and then, of course, relying more on referrals. And then lastly, where's your bank based out of? I mean, can I come visit it? Well, first of all, we're based out of Orange County by the John Wayne Airport, and yes, you can come and visit us anytime you want. But just do me a favor, though. Make sure you make an appointment with me first, because I'm going to have to validate your parking. It's called a Class A building. It's a beautiful place and everything, but being typical Orange County, parking's not free, and I want to make sure that I'm there to validate and pay for your ticket, because of the fact if I don't do that, you're going to end up paying like $25 in parking just to come visit us. But yes, anytime you want, just let me know. And so that pretty much summarizes it. We're going to do some drill for skill here, but obviously you guys are not in the mood for that. So I'm going to go ahead and just get back to other things and let you know that I'm going to try to see if I can shoot this over to you right now. Let me see if I can. If not, we're going to have to do it. Now, what I'm going to do is, if you're going to be there on Saturday, don't show up unless you're ready to participate. We really don't need professional meeting attenders. We need more loan officers that are making money and making good money. Tomorrow's payday, so I'm very excited for all the people getting paid. And if you're not getting paid, you better study this thing. And if you do, like I said, show up on Saturday, be ready to participate, bring your laptop. If you're licensed, if you're a trainer, we're going to do drill for skill and pricing of a loan on the spot. We're really going to get to the no-nonsense part, that if it pushes people out because they don't like to be placed under the gun for their own good, well, don't let the door hit you in the butt. We are going to help as many people make as much money as possible, and we want to make sure we know who's who in the zoo. And the only way to do that is by, understanding that success is a tough boss. It's not me telling you to do this. It's success. You and I, we work for the same exact boss, which is success. And, success simply says to go ahead and do that. Now, I don't know if you can see it on your end, but I have a handout. There's a box on the right that says handout. If somebody can type in under the questions area, I guess that's where you, or chat, yes or no, if you see something that says RMB powerphrases.pdf. Okay, thank you, Mark. Look in the handouts. You're going to get a copy of the actual file, that PDF version of the slides that I just covered. And when we meet on Saturday, I don't want to hear anything other than a response that comes directly, verbatim, from that sheet. If you have your own, keep it to yourself. We need to be cookie cutter. This stuff works like a charm. So I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. Or if you're going to come and tell me that you got a better lines, tell me how much business is generated for you in the last 90 days. Because unless it's a nice, juicy number, I don't want to hear about it. We need to be duplicatable, cookie cutter, and that's it. When I ask you, what is it that you do with RMB or Radiant, or what do you do as an MLO? I don't care which of them you select, but make sure it comes from here verbatim. It's Thursday. If this means anything to you, if you're the ones that went out there and spent all the money on the school and all the money on the testing and spending so much time on stuff that eventually you will not use to make money, this will make you a ton of money. And like I said earlier, we are not going to be sending people anywhere until they are fully auditioned to make sure that they know what they're saying, because we want to make sure that first and foremost, for your own good, you sound intelligent, you sound professional, and confident that you can go out there and generate the business with that as well. What I'm going to do is close it out here in just 1 second. I'm going to go, this kind of ends the actual recording of it, so let me stop this for 1 second, and then I'll get back with you guys as well. Oh, before I end it, we do have another place that we're going to leave it here for the next couple of days, and the next couple of days is going to be here in our download section of rmbagents.com/downloads. down on the lower left-hand corner, it says click here to download the RMB power phrases. We're going to be bringing down that down soon. So just grab the one that you see online right now. If not, grab this one tonight or tomorrow. And on Saturday, we're going to be doing the drill for skill. I had a long conversation with Rhett, and I told him what I don't want us to do anymore, and I don't want us to focus on the knowledge of how to process loans and all that other crap that eventually means nothing, because you don't process loans here at Radiant. You simply originate. Be a good originator. Don't be a good processor. We have people that get paid well to process. We got people that get paid to underwrite. So nobody really needs to know any of that stuff to make a lot of money and help a lot of people. What we need are people to originate loans, which again, I would say we are at about 90, 95 to 5 from the number of agents that we have that are actually doing something, and we need to turn that around. And my goal is to do that almost single-handedly. I told Rhett, you'll get to talk to Rhett and hear from Rhett when you have a loan. If you don't have a loan, you need to talk to me and listen to me and do the things that I'm challenging you to do. Because if you don't do these things and you don't know how to answer these questions, you're dead in the water. And I've seen this movie before a few times. I know how it ends, and it doesn't end well. So I want to make sure that you keep the main thing, which is marketing. You are in the marketing business. Yes, you are in the mortgage industry, but that doesn't mean crap if you're not generating a steady stream of loans that are closing. Put the focus here. Rhett's going to be taking a back seat for a little while. Let him rest up. He's been doing a lot. And for everybody else, we're going to be working on drilling for skill every single time we meet, which is only 2 Saturdays a month. Bring your laptop. Come ready to close business, because I'm going to be drilling everybody. And again, pricing. I don't want to hear I left my computer in the car. Oh, my dog chewed up my charger cord. None of that crap. We want to focus on things that matter. So we're going to thin the herd if we have to by just simply having those ones that are not doing their part not show up, because they're going to be terrified they're going to be called upon. And guess what? Everyone will participate that's there. And so again, if you were on this webinar tonight, I challenge you to make sure you're there this Saturday so we can do part 2. And it's not enough that I know how to explain these things. It's about how you explain these things as well. Summertime is on. People are looking to buy homes. Most of them still need a mortgage. Understand that mortgages are the mortgage industry is that tail that wags a real estate dog. And you couldn't be in a better place with a better company, but it's all useless if you don't execute. Let me see if anybody in this part of the